Hey guys, Jim Bounds, Motorhome Rehab Ranch, and for you guys that follow me on a weekly basis, no, I haven't been on in 9, 10 days. Okay, what's the only way you say what's up? Well, think about this, guys. For over 25 years, you'd come in and see me. We'd work on your motorhome, and we'd do this or that, or answer questions, all that stuff. Over 25 years of that stuff. But and during that time, we were big buddies. But then you would take off and go to vacation or do whatever. I'm still at the shop. Yeah, I've got a bunch of you guys, and I basically I never left the shop almost. I mean, I'd go to international or something. I'd blow in there, do a 24-hour run with Nelson, and we'd go in there and spend 2, 3, 4 days, and then blow back because I had more to do, and I don't call that a vacation. So I will tell you that over the last 10 days, Janie and I have done something. I don't want to call it a bucket list. I want to call it beginning of filling a bucket. We took an actual vacation. Yes, yes, yes. Vacation. In other words, we took an Amtrak trip up to, hang on a second, let me get this, let me get down to where we're at. Yeah, we took an Amtrak journey to Williamsburg and took in Yorktown and Jamestown and all that stuff, and actually did the whole thing. Had a real nice room and nice place. Ate good dinner. Well, I must say, Janie was great. We stopped at a store before, and we loaded up the fridge, and they had a full kitchen. I don't know, and we ate very very well. But we ate out of some really really nice places up there. Had a good time, uh, and I got to tell you, it's worth the trip. It's worth the trip up there. I'll give you one. Do you know why people say sleep tight and don't let the bed bugs bite? Back in colonial days, the beds had a web of rope, right? Well, what happens when you push down on rope for a little bit? It starts to sag, right? Well, in the front of the bed was the end of the ropes, and you pull them tight to lift it up so you're further away from the ground so the bugs don't get to you. Then the only problem you have is if you have bed bugs. So sleep tight, tighten up your ropes before you go to bed there, sir. And don't let the bed bugs bite there, tater chip. Well, there it is. So you've learned something today. So who said that sometimes having a little bit of socialness before some talk here isn't good? But we've been off. This is our bus driver. Uh, this guy was pretty cool. His family actually still has a dairy out there near Jamestown, and he was a fourth, fifth grade school teacher. He was just right for a bus load of us old guys. Boy, he really took care of us. So if you're interested in the tour that we took, text me or whatever. I'll get Janie to. But no, Janie planned this whole thing. We ate good, had a great time. Just I like these vacation things, man. I can see. I'm hoping now next year I got to get through this bedroom refinish. Why? Because it's the bedroom in my motorhome. But as soon as I get this bedroom done and a few other things to the motorhome, next year I hope to go on the road and do a tour and meet some of you guys out on the road. I hope to do it this year, but we had stuff that happened. So I'm looking next year that I'm going to get out and come around the country and maybe make a tour and see you and stuff like that. All right, well look, enough of all that. So all you techno geeks are going, talk to me about starters. What are you talking about? I understand. I made you live through that just to know what this is about, because it's about more than just motorhomes. I mean, these motorhomes become a part of your family. Most people name them, kind of a thing. And so don't get too caught up in just the minutia of building the machine. I almost did, but I can't wait to get on the road and get out and see you guys. But today, what I wanted to talk about are starters. Now, up until recently, um, I figured the only starter we had was this one. And talking to my alternator starter guy, he said, "Look, there's not much more I can do to that original starter. It's a starter. It's a starter. And one day when it misses, take it out and give it to me, and I'll fix it." That's pretty much what he said. And he said, "There's nothing better unless you buy the really junk. But there's the brushes. There aren't better brushes or better windings or anything. Starter's a starter. And if for you guys, uh, Oldsmobile starters bolt right into place. As a keyway, it fits right in there. Chevy, if you're a Chevy guy, you got a box of shims and you shim it until it sounds like, yeah, that's it. No, no, no. Oldsmobile bolt right into place. So there wasn't much in a starter you could do. You could make sure the wiring is good and all that. But and by the way, on that tip, on the main starter wire, the big 2-gauge wire that goes from the starter up to the battery boost solenoid. When you're under there doing some of this stuff, whatever you end up doing, there's at least one tie wrap in that 2-gauge wire away from everything or holding it taut. Cut that tie wrap if there's no whatever, but inspect that wire. Look at the insulation very, very carefully, okay? This information I'm going to give you came from Ranch Hand Earl. And Earl, I asked him anything that he found that was unusual. And one thing, the insulation on his 2-gauge wire had some wear. It wasn't through or anything like that. It wasn't danger. But you could see 50 years had caused a wear there. So listen. My suggestion, what Earl did is put an extra tie wrap a little higher, and it'll take another 50 years, no problem. You could take a piece of 3/4 inch heater hose, slit it, make a split loom, and run it from the battery boost solenoid down to the starter. Clean it all off. It might have oil from 50 years of spilling oil and all that stuff. Clean it all up. Put this on there, and then tie wrap that in. And it's protected for sure. You won't have a problem. And the connections on each end are really important. Matter of fact, have a new cable, new crimps. You actually have corrosion in crimps, So, new cable, new crimps, insulate it, all that. That's called, Mac Daddy or whatever, big shot. By the way, you know where the word big shot, the term big shot came from? See, this is the kind of stuff you learn on tours. Back in the day, all the ships had to come into this one canal back in the 1700s or 1600s. Yeah, 1600s. And there would be a sentry there that when they came up, they stopped there to see who they were, their merchants or whatever. And if it was some kind of big shot, some Earl or something like that, Duke of Earl or whatever, they would shoot the cannon off to let the town know that there was a big shot coming in on a boat. Big shot. I like it. So anyway, where were we going there? Anyway, back to starters. Oh, yeah, the cable. Insulate the heck out of that cable. Be sure you get on the original starter, there are 2 studs sticking out the back. One's a ground and one's the start solenoid. Okay, make sure you don't put it on the ground. You'll have a smoke test. Right? So when you take it off, mark where it comes off. Okay, but anyway, when's a starter more than a starter? Well, listen. Ranch Hand Earl called me. Now, Earl is the kind of guy that wants that thing to work. All right. And it always bothered him you'd hit that key to the starter and the whole motorhome would shake. I mean, that starter had to, whoa, wow, 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 just really go at it. And he had here recently, he hit it and it was, whoa, whoa, it was really, So, Ranch Hand Earl figured out something that I didn't know, that a guy I've known for over 20, 30 years has. And I'm not advertising, and if anybody else has those or whatever, that's all good, these. But Ranch Hand Earl found that Jim Kanemata and Nick, if you call, tell them, hey, have a reduction gear starter bolt in. Earl said it was 2 1/4, which, you say, wait a minute, to get a good rebuild, I mean, to take it to a good remanufacturer is $100. $100. And I really firmly believe that Chrysler uses reduction gear starters because it takes a while for the dadgum thing to start. I mean, I went through a Mopar phase, and man, I had one of the 392 Hemis, and it had a straight starter. Wah-bah, wah-bah. We got into the guys that had the reduction gear. Woo! They could sit there and grind over for a while before that fuel got to the pistons. So having a reduction gear starter does several things. One, as you see here, and this picture will be on the video, it's a whole lot smaller, okay? Easier to put in. And if you're going to put one in, the big tip there, undo the oil filter. Just take it off, put it aside. You want to change the oil at the same time. You're already done half. But move the oil filter, and then, man, that thing is like, it's a party in there. There's plenty of room. But you can see this reduction gear starter is much smaller, okay? It's using leverage. It's not using brute force of this thing, but, it is actually using leverage with gears in here to spin that thing over. And Earl told me, he said that the hardest part of starting his coach now is turning the key. He said the motor seems like it starts like a Tecumseh lawnmower, just boom, takes off right now. I got to hand it to Jim, and it's a great thing. We had played with it. We got one of these universal reduction gear starters and messed around with it and got one to work, but it wasn't the kind of thing that I really wanted to talk about because it was like had bubble gum on it and some different things. But Jim's worked it out, and he has that starter. And so I wanted to thank Earl, Ranch Hand Earl, for giving me the report on that. I truly, and maybe you other guys know, I did not know about that there was one that we could get from a supplier pre-built just to work in this application. It's a good thing, and I'll hand it to him for doing it. It's something that we had thought about. So, all right. So on our trip, we didn't take the motorhome. Like I said, I have no bedroom. We took Amtrak, and I need to also recommend to do that. We took coach class. The seat was decent, man. It was a 20-hour trip up there, I'm thinking 20 hours, holy moly. It sounds like a prison sentence. But it was a very, very good trip. We brought our own food. I didn't try the delicacies on the train or anything like that. Brought our own food, had, good bag of chips, I've been refraining from that kind of stuff, and having a bag of chips was a big deal. Anyway, we had a great trip, and I appreciate all the folks call and say, Jim, you not been on for a while. What's happening? Jeez. Hey, I got to have a little break here, and you guys, Virginia, you got to be proud. You got to be proud of the tourist thing they do there. It's not like Disney here. I was kind of dreading it. Oh man, I'm going to be a tourist. No. When you see historical sites and the whole center is around that kind of stuff, they got stuff there that's older than Florida. You know what I'm saying? Some old stuff, and it's a lot of history, Learn a lot about Hamilton, more than the movie, the theater show. No, 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 dude, Hamilton. You check him out. Smart guy. Took read about what he did, and on Rebode 10. Some good history. Well, look, guys, thanks for muddling through this, but really, if you're interested, I think a reduction gear starter that Jim right now has is a good idea. Pulls less current, spins the motor faster. I mean, not bad. All right, that pull less current thing's a big deal. All right, guys. Well, look, thanks. This will be in the database, so if you have anybody that asks any questions or whatever, or you can send them to this. I have no idea where this is going to end up in the database. Well, no, it will. It will end up with starters. Good deal. All right. Well, look, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks for your support, and we'll see you again.